As leaders, we've been brought up to believe that stress and overwork is just part of life. In today's video, I'm going to share how you can still achieve your most ambitious goals without burnout, without stress, and without the overwork. If you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit the bell icon to be notified every time I post a new video, because I talk all about building and nurturing a high-performance team and a lot around how to show up as a leader. My name is Sadaf Sheikh, and I have been helping leaders and CEOs of small businesses build a high-performing team and show up as a leader that ensures their team hits it out of the park every single day. So burnout is a real problem. One Gallup survey from 2020 said that 76% of people experience burnout at least sometimes in their jobs. When we think of achieving our most ambitious goals, we think of piling on a whole bunch of tasks and activities and projects on our plates. The thinking is the more we do, the faster we can accomplish something and the faster we can achieve our goals. And the thing with that is the more success you see, the more you feel you need to pile on more work. I know firsthand that it doesn't have to be that way. When I turned 20, I realized that human resources is where I wanted to go. I had picked that as my career of choice. I had already been working full-time for a full year. Anyway, I had these big dreams of being the head of HR at this massive organization. And I thought, as long as I get my first job, I'll work my way through that. The problem was it took me 7 years to finally get my first HR job. And when I finally did land my HR job, I felt like I had a lot of ground, a lot of time lost that I needed to recover. So I set these crazy, unrealistic expectations on myself. I would take on every project that was thrown at me. I felt like I needed to take on and say yes to everything in order to prove that I was the best person that they had hired, that they made the right decision taking a chance on me, considering I had 0 HR experience. So where most people would schedule 1 interview or 2 interviews, I would schedule 5 or 6. Where most people would schedule 1 site visit a day, I would schedule 4, and I would do it all around the city, and I would ensure that I walked to each of those, because I'm not exactly sure what I was trying to prove there, but I would do it in heels because I needed to look good doing it. I would book back-to-back meetings every single day, and then I would scramble to get my work done before I had to leave to go home, because those days I didn't have, a phone or any kind of, or a laptop even, to access my stuff from home. I would say yes to every project, every assignment, get on the social committee. Absolutely, I would do that. Say yes to coming into work to complete things on the weekend with the team. Absolutely, I would do that too. Create new templates, because the department hadn't had templates in the 15 years that they had been operational. Sure, I'll do that too. And that was only at work. I also had a toddler that I was taking care of at home, plus a full house to manage. The more they said that I was doing amazing and that I would really go places, and the more that fueled me and my desire to do even more. That praise and that recognition fueled me to keep going and pushing to say yes to even more things, even as my body was breaking down on the inside. I talked about my story in a previous video, and you can catch it up top there. And in it, I talk about how I landed myself in the hospital about 2 months after I started my dream job in human resources, and how it took me another hospital stay to finally get it. For people with ambitious goals, the problem is that burnout is real. You may not feel it, and you may not land yourself in the hospital like I did, but make no mistake that constant go, go, go and that constant stress on your system does take a toll on your body, and it starts to break down slowly, and as your body starts to break down, your mind isn't too far behind. And it's extremely difficult to pull back from that overcommitment once you've said yes to everything. I know, because as I was saying yes to everything, I knew that I shouldn't and that I couldn't realistically do everything. But once I started, and once that my calendar got full with all of the stuff on there that I needed to do, I felt like I was stuck. And here's the absolute worst part, and maybe you're experiencing this right now, or you felt this at some point in the past. You you can feel your body slowing down and you get angry. You get angry that now at this crucial juncture, when you have so many goals on your plate and so many things you need to accomplish, now your body is deciding to slow down and to start to basically shut down. You can feel it, and it's infuriating because now is the time when you need it to cooperate. You need it to work with you to achieve all of these goals. And that makes you want to push even harder because you're like, no, I can beat this. I can beat this. I'm not going to let something as simple as my body breaking down or slowing down stop me from achieving my goals. The whole mind over matter, and there's so much of this out there in the world that, oh, if you believe it's strong enough, it's going to happen. And sometimes after that, the damage can be irreversible. And then you start pushing through the colds and the headaches and the tiredness and the fatigue that overcomes your body, and you feel guilty when you take time off because you're like, I need to go faster and I need to accomplish this thing quicker, and you feel like you can never truly relax. Okay, am I the only one who's felt this? If you have felt this, if this resonates with you, then put a yes in the comments below. And if you're open to it, absolutely share your story. Okay, so if you have felt this way, or maybe you've seen somebody, a loved one behaving this way, and you've seen it firsthand, then keep watching because I'm going to share my 3 tips on how to overcome this, because I can tell you, having been there and going down to the depths of places I never thought that I would, I've learned when to recognize the signs. So tip number 1 is to recognize the addiction. Achieving goals is an addiction. Make no mistake about this. And removing yourself from the outcome reward of goal achievement is difficult. So, if you've ever had to quit smoking or drinking or sugar, then you know exactly how this feels, right? That, I used to obsess with setting goals and then achieving them. And the high that I would get checking off things off my list, or even going back like 6 months and looking at the fact that I actually completed something or achieved something, would be euphoric. It took me a long time to recognize that I was actually addicted to goal achievement. I would no sooner finish something and check it off my list than I would be on to the next thing without a single second of pause to appreciate or to recognize or to reward myself in any way. It was always done. All right, what's next? What's next? What's next? It took me another year and a second hospital stay before I finally got it. And I lost a year of my career because of it. And you want to know the real kicker in all of this is that as soon as I pulled back and as soon as I started setting boundaries and I delineated exactly what was possible, what wasn't possible, as soon as I took time out to celebrate successes and to, pace myself, I actually grew faster in my career. So within 5 years, I went from a junior to mid-level contributor in human resources all the way to the head of HR at a private equity firm. So setting boundaries actually served me, but it took me a long time to figure that out. My second tip for achieving your most ambitious goals without burning out is to remove your sense of self-worth from the achievement of your goal. Now, this is actually a lot harder in practice, of course. Every human being, no matter who you are on the planet, we get a rush of serotonin every time someone praises us for something that we do. The trick is to take that feeling and put it back in its place. Remember this, when people praise you or you receive some kind of achievement for work that you've done, they're not praising you. They're praising the work. You are not the work. You do the work, but that is not who you are. And once I realized this, actually, it was pretty epiphanic for me because I realized that the work was not a reflection of me. It was simply the work. And it helped me a lot in managing my expectations of myself. The key then is to do whatever you can to get the work done. It doesn't even have to be you doing the work. The how and the when and the who of how the work gets done or what happens with the work is really irrelevant. It's the end result that matters to almost everybody. So just sit with that for a second and just mull over that. So this leads me to my next point. Focus on the process, not the goal. So you may have heard this before, and a few writers have written about this, and a few psychologists have talked about this as well, but you have to stop focusing on the achievement of the goal and instead focus on the process. So two things happen with this. Number one, you remove yourself from the outcome, right? So you remove your sense of fulfillment or a sense of achievement doesn't come from the outcome. You actually learn to enjoy the journey and not dwell on what the outcome is going to be of that journey or what the destination is going to look like of that journey. And the second is that you control the process. And when you find the right process, actually you set it and forget it. And that sense of freedom that comes when you're able to do that, once you find a process that works and you implement it day in and day out, and that's all you're focused on, it frees your brain and your heart to do more than just the checkmark exercise of achieving something or completing something. The second I stopped focusing on that destination and I started focusing on the here and now and what's happening at the current date and time, the easier I felt it was for me to set boundaries for myself. And the more boundaries I set for myself, the more I felt that I had control over my time and I became more efficient. So if I only had an hour to do something, I would work damn hard and focus and get the thing done in that hour time slot that I had. It freed my mind to be present in the moment when I was actually doing something. It actually allowed me to compartmentalize myself and my brain and my body to some extent, to a large extent, that when it was work time, I would work and I would hustle hard. But when it was free time, I knew that I had put in the work to earn that free time. If this all made sense to you and you're ready to kick stress and overwork and overwhelm to the curb and start setting boundaries so that you can still achieve your most important goals without sacrificing your health, then let's hop on a call and let's see how we can make that happen for you. The link to book a call is in the description below. And let me know what resonated for you the most in this video. Put it in the comments and let me know what else you'd like to hear more about around the whole topic around stress and burnout and overwork and overwhelm. I would love to hear from you, and of course I respond to every single comment. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe, and check out this video for more around my story. Until next week, please come back, same time, same place. See you.